Ancient Egypt, known as one of the greatest civilizations to ever live. It has been a mystery to scientists and is famous for its megalithic structures known as the pyramids of Giza. For decades, modern science has been left scratching their heads trying to figure out how and why the pyramids were created. But finally, the truth of why the pyramids were made and how they impacted the land of Egypt is revealed, and the findings will blow your mind. This is True Revelation TV, and welcome to another video. Today, we are unveiling the truth of what the pyramids may have been made for and how it benefited the Egyptians as a civilization, as well as many other cultures around the world. In ancient Egypt, the people there were known to be sun worshippers. For example, the pharaoh Akhenaten, which is the famous King Tut's father, was a very controversial king. He revolutionized the ancient Egyptian religion by eliminating all the gods of the Egyptian pantheon and elevating the Sundist god called Aten to the status of the only supreme god. But the sun wasn't the only thing the Egyptians held in high regard. They also had an overwhelming amount of knowledge about the human body, and they actually made a connection to the earth and body parts outward as well as inward, so they built structures and made hieroglyphs to depict these gods. For instance, the obelisk in this ancient world were structures that resembled the human penis, often with phallic symbols representing fertility and asserting male sexuality and orgasm.
Thank you, Bill. Very well illustrated, but I'll take over from here if you don't mind. To pick up from the obelisk being created, the true mystery is in the pyramids of Giza, and we will analyze why they were made and what body part they are connected to. You may be asking, what is the significance of creating something that resembles a body part, and how does it benefit the Egyptian people? And the answer is this.
Thank you, True TV, for cutting in. I was overdue for a bathroom break, so tell me, where was I? Oh yes, the answer you're looking for may lie in the human anatomy, because right on top of the kidneys sit two pyramid-shaped objects called the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands act as electrical conductors in the body. They send the spark of electricity to the kidneys to kick on the filtration system of the body. The adrenal glands control the body's blood pressure and the body's autonomic nervous system, which is the autopilot of the human body, which is why you never have to think about breathing, blinking, or ever had to tell your heart to beat. It just does, because quite frankly, if we were in control of these functions, we would have perished a long time ago, and by this point I'm sure you understand the importance of the adrenal glands in the body. But these glands also play an important role in the utilization of minerals and nutrients to provide the body with optimum performance, such as regeneration and cognitive clarity. So it makes sense that the Egyptians created giant pyramids to depict adrenal glands, and this is rather fitting, considering the connection between the body and the earth, for they both are over 70% water and share most of the same minerals. So were the Egyptians trying to mimic what the adrenal glands do in the body on the earth. And is this why the land of Egypt was so fertile, so rich with precious metals and minerals, as well as fruits and other delicacies? Every time the Nile waters came, it left rich silt on the previously flooded plains. This makes the soil across the Nile very fertile, and the farmers enjoy good harvest every year. And this silt was key to Egyptian agriculture. So could this really be the reason the pyramids were created? Does the beliefs of the Egyptians truly have an impact on this physical realm? Because if they truly believe that they can duplicate what the adrenal glands do in the body on the earth, this is groundbreaking information. And if the adrenal glands are electrical conductors that kickstart the kidneys, which is the filtration system of the body, if that's true according to our argument, there must be evidence that the pyramids were also electrical conductors. This is a simple experiment. We are simply applying what the adrenal glands do in the body and making a connection that is in alignment with the pyramid's duty on Earth. But not only is the pyramid made of limestone and the interior made of granite and quartz, which is electrical in nature, and though I believe the pyramids derive from the idea of the adrenal glands, it's still all about sun worship. In the prime of the pyramids, creation, the Great Pyramid had a gold cap at the very top, symbolizing the sun, and the pyramid was painted all white, symbolizing light. This structure is indicative of the sun, peeking through the clouds, causing something called crepuscular rays. This resembles a pyramid in the form of sun rays, and the structure was inspired by this visual. So this evidence keeps pointing back to the idea of the pyramids being an energy conductor. But what is it powering? First, let us analyze what effect that the sun and its light have on the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands release something called cortisol and adrenaline. These are your fight or flight hormones for my Dragon Ball Z fans. This is equivalent to the Super Saiyan of the body. But what direct effect does the sun have on the adrenal glands? We have found that bright light levels pertaining to the descending phase of the rhythmic cortisol levels suggest that morning light may have a more extreme effect on adrenal cortex physiology. Adrenal gland problems often zap you of your energy and sound sleep, but you can establish your circadian rhythm by waking up and going to bed at the same time every night. You should get 30 minutes to an hour of sunlight after you wake up in the morning. For the light is your biological clock, so it is evident that sun is connected to these glands because great doses of sunlight has an inverse reaction on cortisol levels at night. So the more sun we get, the less cortisol is released into the bloodstream at night, and the better sleep we get. And there is also evidence that cortisol and melatonin have a connection with each other because when one is high, the other is low. But it is important to know that with stress prolonged, the adrenal glands do not switch off and extreme levels of cortisol are produced. Great amounts of cortisol decrease dopamine, serotonin, and melatonin, which are the feel-good hormones. This can cause anxiety, fears, heart palpitations, poor sleep, and a feeling of unease.
Okay, Bill, let's get back to the idea of the pyramids being some sort of electrical adapter. As some believe the pyramids were power plants, and others thought it simply to be tombs. But there is an overwhelming amount of evidence to the contrary. I asked the question, is it a coincidence that from an overhead view of the pyramids of Giza and the surrounding buildings, they resemble a circuit board? Or is it merely luck that the Nile waters ran underneath the pyramids? There are people that believe physioelectricity was harnessed using the water beneath the pyramids, but it is clear that the Egyptians had knowledge of electricity when analyzing objects like the Baghdad battery, which is an electrical conductor found in Egypt. And it is no surprise that one of the greatest minds in science, Nikola Tesla, modeled a lot of his ideology after the ancient Egyptians. For Tesla believed in wireless energy. His studies are responsible for over 70% of the technology we use today. For example, we wouldn't have Wi-Fi today if not for Nikola Tesla. Or should I say, if not for the ancient Egyptians. So it's also important for us to mention that Tesla created the Wardenclyffe Tower by inspiration of the pyramids. Tesla was the best in the realm of physics and studied the ancient civilization of Egypt, which is a telltale sign that we have underestimated them, for they were far more advanced than we previously thought. And this connection to the adrenal glands may be proof to why the Nile is drying up today. Because if these glands are responsible for mineral utilization and blood flow, could this mean the same for the Nile River? Did the pyramids release something in the land of Egypt comparable to cortisol or adrenaline? And was it aiding their advanced lifestyle? Cortisol would be equivalent to surges of energy, which is the thing that powers all life. Did the pyramids use solar energy, much like the solar panels we use today? And did it help and aid in the process of making the most fertile land the world has ever seen?
This is fascinating information, and the possibilities are endless with this new idea of why the pyramids were created. But what else could the pyramids power? Communication systems, transportation, lights, or some type of computer system? Maybe this is the reason why we see Egyptian hieroglyphs in the Grand Canyon, as well as other places around the world. One might ask, how far did their reach really go? So it is no surprise that the United States dollar has a pyramid on it, symbolizing electrical current energy, which is why it is fitting that money is known as currency. And it is well known that the pyramids are placed very specifically according to the electromagnetic field, as well as the shape of the pyramids itself exhibiting fractal energy more efficiently than other shapes. Although pyramids are not exclusive to just Egypt, for they are found all over the world in many cultures. So it is safe to say the ancients knew something that we today did not know, and for every mystery that we uncover, another arises. But that's all I have for now. If you gained any value from this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. This is True Revelation TV. Until next time.